Look at your reflection for a moment. Not the one you see in the bathroom mirror, but the reflection you try to project to the world every day. Who is this person? They look tired, don't they? Carrying a weight that isn't theirs. Since we were children, we've been taught to look at the world to find out who we should be. The architect, that invisible force of others' expectations, placed a distorted mirror in front of us, and we've spent decades trying to fit into the curves of that glass. If you're not productive, the mirror tells you you're useless. If you're not perfect, it tells you you're a mistake. If you're sad, it tells you you're weak. We spend our entire lives trying to fix the reflection, without realizing that the problem was never our face, but the mirror they gave us to look into. Self-love begins the exact moment you feel a weariness so deep that you finally decide to close your eyes. It's the moment you realize you've spent your whole life trying to be loved by strangers, while the only person who truly missed you was yourself. It's painful to admit, but most of us live in a state of self-abandonment. We become our own cruelest critics. If a friend was suffering the way you are, you would hug them. But when it's you, you push yourself, you blame yourself, you diminish yourself. Why are we so kind to the world and so violent toward our own hearts? The system we live in profits from our insecurity. A person who feels insufficient is a person who seeks to fill the void. With consumption, digital validation, and constant distractions, the architect needs you to hate yourself, because self-hatred is the strongest chain there is. It keeps you trapped in a search for something that never arrives. But self-love isn't a destination you reach when you're finally perfect. It's not a prize for when you lose weight, make money, or become successful. Self-love is the courage to be imperfect in a world that demands the impossible. It's looking at your scars, your mistakes, and the nights you cried in secret, and saying, "I see you, and I won't leave you alone anymore." Breaking the mirror of expectations is an act of liberation. It hurts, because the shards are made of all the opinions you valued more than your own peace. But behind the broken glass, there is something the system could never touch. Your essence. That part of you that laughed for no reason as a child. That was enchanted by the sunset. That felt life pulsing without needing filters. To love yourself is a homecoming. It's like taking off a tight shoe you've worn for years. It's the relief of no longer needing to prove anything to anyone. The system may try to convince you that this is selfishness, but make no mistake, the greatest gift you can give the world is a soul that is at peace with itself. A person who loves themselves cannot be manipulated by fear. A person who loves themselves becomes a calculation error in the architect's cold logic, because they discovered that their source of value doesn't come from outside. It is born from within. Today, I don't ask you to be strong. I only ask you to be kind to the person who needs you most right now. You. If you're also tired of trying to fit into mirrors that don't belong to you, if you felt that this video spoke directly to your soul today, leave a like. It's your way of telling the system that you are reclaiming your worth. And if you want to continue this journey back home with us, subscribe to the channel. Let's break these mirrors together. Just breathe and stay with me. Have you noticed how the world seems to get more aggressive when you're at war with yourself? When you feel small, every criticism is a fatal blow. Every look of disapproval feels like confirmation that you shouldn't be here. The system knows this. It feeds on this porosity. When there is no self-love, your soul is like a house without doors. Any cold wind enters. Any stranger can sit at the table and dictate the rules. But something changes when you finally decide to accept your own company. Self-love creates a kind of invisible shield. It's not a wall of arrogance or coldness, but a boundary of respect. When you discover your worth, the architect's voices begin to sound distant, like a poorly tuned radio. The system tries to sell you insecurity, trying to convince you that you need more to be someone. But the signal no longer finds a place to anchor. You are no longer an antenna receiving the fear of the world. You have become your own source. The greatest control tool of this system is the need to be good to others while being cruel to ourselves. We were taught that saying no is selfish, that prioritizing our peace is a sin against the collective. But look around you. A world full of exhausted people trying to please everyone isn't a better world. It's just a world that's easier to manipulate. Learning to love yourself is learning to say no to everything that drains your light. It's saying no to relationships that diminish you, to jobs that devour your soul, to conversations that only spread ashes over your dreams. Self-love is the guardian of your sacred hardware. It gives you the courage to be the villain in the story of those who want to use you. And for the first time, you realize that the system's disapproval is actually a compliment. If the architect is uncomfortable with your independence, it's because you are finally free from his grip. Perhaps the hardest part of this journey is looking at past versions of yourself and not feeling shame. That version that accepted crumbs, that version that stayed silent when they should have screamed, that version that let themselves break so others could feel whole. The system wants you to carry this guilt like dead weight, because guilt keeps you looking back, paralyzed. But self-love whispers a different truth. You did what you could with the tools you had in the middle of the simulation. Forgiving yourself is the greatest glitch you can cause in the architect's logic. When you forgive yourself, you clear the cache of accumulated pain and free up space for the present. You stop being a victim of your past and become the author of your now. Loving yourself is taking that part of you that was hurt the most, holding it in your lap, and saying, "I don't blame you for trying to survive." It is in this internal embrace that true strength is born. Not the strength that crushes, but the strength that sustains. Many people believe that self-love is the end of the line, a place where you sit and isolate yourself from the world. But the truth is, it's the beginning of everything. When you stop begging for love, you finally have love to offer. The system wants you to believe that love is a scarce resource, something you need to extract from others or compete to get. But self-love is an inexhaustible source. When you become your own home, you no longer need the world to validate you, to feel real. And it is in that moment that the architect loses his last weapon, neediness. A soul that loves itself is a free soul. You begin to see others not as judges of your worth, but as fellow travelers who, just like you, were also wounded by this simulation. Your self-love overflows and becomes compassion. You stop judging your process and automatically stop judging the process of others. The matrix is based on separation and judgment. Self-love is based on unity and peace. By healing yourself, you begin to heal the world around you, without saying a single word. Imagine living an entire day without comparing yourself to anyone. Imagine making a decision based on what brings peace to your heart, and not on what will generate more clicks or approval. It sounds like a dream, but it is the reality of those who decided to break the mirror. Self-love is the foundation of a new world we are building here, a world where humanity is worth more than efficiency. The system will keep trying to pull you back. It will use nostalgia. It will use fear of the future. It will use the voices of people who are still trapped in the labyrinth. But now you know the way back. You know that no matter how loud the storm is outside, there is a place within you that is unshakable. Self-love is the anchor that keeps you steady while the matrix shakes. You are no longer a reflection. You are the original light. You are no longer a prisoner. You are the master of your own signal. Welcome back to life. Welcome back to you. This journey doesn't end here. It's just beginning. If this video was the hug you needed today, I want to ask you for one last gesture of kindness toward yourself. Write in the comments, "I am my own home." By writing this, you are sealing this commitment before our community. Read other people's comments. Leave a heart for those also trying to find themselves. Let's turn this space into a sanctuary against the noise of the world. And if you feel that someone you love is lost in the winter of the soul, share this video. Sometimes, the greatest act of love is